Well, hey there, sweet peas. Welcome back to Friendless. I'm your host, James Avramenko, and this week I have one of my closest friends on the show, the one, the only, William Raphael Pacheco. We discuss getting sober in queer spaces, what it actually means to go easy on yourself, and a few handy tips on how to set healthy friendship parameters. They're not boundaries, they're parameters. All of that and so much more. Will is one of my favorite people in the world, and you are going to love this episode. So it's now time to lean back, get comfy, set your volume at a reasonable level, and enjoy my interview with Will Pacheco here on Friendless. All right, here we go. This week on Friendless, I have one of my dearest friends in the world. I met him through mutual friends, something like that. I don't know, something like that. Some gay party somewhere.
Definitely a gay party. It was definitely that.
I feel like it was one of those love at first sight moments. The one, the only, William Raphael Pacheco.
I do love how you use my full name. It's so good. Can you roll your R with it too?
Raphael.
There you go. That's right.
Raphael is a banger of a name.
Thank you.
Like,
it's definitely a family name.
Yeah.
But my mom, when I was changing my name, she wanted to pick out one of the names again. So she was like, "Can I make it this?" Because that way everything's like all cohesive. And I was like, "Absolutely
gorgeous."
So yeah, officially.
You know, family names are a funny thing. I find myself feeling very jealous of a lot of people's family names. And I'm hesitant to bag on my family names because like they're people I love. But like I don't really want to name a child of mine Herbert.
Herbie.
I mean, that's pretty cute.
Yeah.
But like, or like Heath, you know, which is technically a boy's name, but was my grandma's name.
Totally.
So it's tough, you know?
Yeah. Like my family has like, I mean, half of my family is from PEI, so white as all hell, and then the other half is from Belize and other South Central America places. Yep. So some of them can get very exciting.
Yeah.
But yeah, my mom picked it.
I love it. It's great. William Raphael.
I kind of love it.
Right. This might be a new thing. Before we launch in, I've got tons of stuff I want to chat to you about. Based on prompts that you yourself created, and I'm so grateful for. But before we launch into those, I want to ask my go-to tentpole opening question. Who the hell are you?
I am. Who is William Raphael Pacheco? That's the never-ending question, truly. I am a 28-year-old. Oh, sorry, I'm still 27 for a couple more weeks. 27-year-old queer trans dude. And honestly, that's kind of sums me up in a nutshell. People like to say I'm very soft. But I do have a very deranged sense of humor, which you know.
Yes.
I've sent you some very questionable reels.
Very, like, the to the level of, like, is it okay to be Will's friend? You know?
Listen, I just like really dumb stuff, okay?
Yeah.
And very bad jokes.
Yeah. Nothing cancelable.
Nothing cancelable.
No pro-Nazi.
No.
Nothing.
God,
yeah. No.
But definitely, like, those, like, memes where people end up covering their face.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That is definitely me in a nutshell.
Yeah.
So, adorable, soft, soft little baby, with a very deranged sense of humor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Will.
I love it.
Yeah.
You're also, you know, not to pull the old man card as I so often do around you know, but I am very old. But no, it just made me laugh because, you know, you had to sneak in your age, and you're still of the age where you want to say
I do.
But you know, I'm at the age where I'm like, yeah, I'm 38 now.
Totally.
I think.
I'm
pretty sure.
You have to like do math just to figure out your age.
That's just it. And it's like 87 is such a pain in the ass year because like
you're 10 years older than
I am.
I just realized that. Oh my God.
I know. Disgusting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where were you on 9/11?
In my mom's arms? In a cradle? Actually, I would have been 3.
Jesus.
4.
Jesus.
No, 3.
So we can never date.
No, we
That's
can't.
that's my go-to deal
Yeah.
breaker now is do you have cognitive memories of 9/11?
I remember learning about it in school.
Yeah. Yeah, we can never be in love.
No.
Yeah.
It just can't happen, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
it's
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
I'll cry about it later, but it's fine.
That's the most gentle shoot down I've ever received. I
Yeah.
really appreciate it.
Yeah. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's whatever. I'll just cry. Fine.
But it is troubling. We're at, we're at the age now. Okay, I mean, I guess you have just told me you won't understand this, but in the faraway lands of the mid 2000s,
Yes.
it was 9/11 changed everything.
Yeah. That's what I've heard.
And it's really
That's what I've heard.
it's really tough to feel like there's any kind of future with somebody.
Yeah, that's very
right.
fair.
Yeah,
Who doesn't know what it was like before then?
yeah.
Because like I don't say that I grew up in the 90s because I didn't. I was born
Right.
in 97.
Yeah.
Like I had my first 3 years were like I'm born in December, so my first like 2 years, I guess, all of that was just all 2000s.
Exactly.
I grew up in the 2000s. Like I graduated 2015. Again, just to make you feel old.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd already graduated university.
Yeah, exactly. And
God, I was engaged.
damn. See, I forget. Am I your youngest friend?
Mm-hmm.
I hold that stake very high.
Yeah.
And that makes me very happy.
Yeah.
I
And
don't
I
know
will
why,
go
but
no
it
lower.
does. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
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 I feel like 27. That 10-year age gap is
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that I do hold that stake very, very high.
Big time.
I don't know why,
Yeah,
but I do.
Yeah. I guess I've gotten to the age where I can't be friends with anybody younger than the like musicians 27 club. Like
Totally.
you have to be the age where you would kill yourself with drugs.
Yeah.
If you can survive a drug bender, we can't be friends.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. Yeah, that's actually so true. Like, also being sober now, I'm like, yeah, you will not see me
No.
doing that at all.
No.
Never in my life. Yeah. But we were friends pre that.
Yes.
So when I was like 25,
Yeah.
26,
Yeah.
so
But I was a younger man too.
Oh, that's true.
The
That's
halcyon
true.
days of 35.
Oh, yeah, no, you're very right. You're very right.
I was still nimble and spry.
You still had some pep in your step, which both of us are like old men now.
Oh yeah.
I love being at home and just being cozy.
Oh,
so.
I have aged decades in the last 3 years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
me too,
yeah.
honestly. Like 28 going on 208.
Yeah. Have you? So speaking of the sobriety thing, this is something that I am really curious to talk to you about. There's a few different directions I'm sure we can end up going in it, but in your initial experience of getting sober, like, have you found? How do I put it? Like, I have found that I have I feel like I've double aged since I got sober. Like every year that passes, I feel like at least 2 have passed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time moves a lot faster.
Yeah. Which you would think would be the opposite
Yeah.
because you're sober and so you're experiencing everything. But it's like now it's like I don't know. And this is not me trying to be like I miss drugs because I don't.
Mm.
It's more that it's like I just feel slower.
Yeah.
And yet everything's going faster.
Yeah. I feel like my days feel longer,
Mm-hmm.
but it is. It's weird. Like I've been sober for I think just under the same amount of time as you, like by a couple months.
Yeah.
But it just like everything just feels like it's toned down, and I guess it's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
But like life doesn't feel as chaotic. Maybe.
Yeah.
But I do find that. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess maybe you raise a good point there about the idea of like maybe because there's so much more routine,
Mm-hmm.
there's so much more stability.
Yeah.
There isn't those novel spikes of like, oh, I got fucked up and this weird thing happened because I put myself in this bizarre place out of nowhere.
There's no good stories anymore.
Yeah. And so like because of like our ADHD, it's sort of like we don't register and then it's like, oh shit, a month just went by and I don't think I did anything.
Yeah. I think I also keep myself so busy with work stuff specifically and like having 2 partners and just it keeps me so busy and in a routine because I usually see my partners on like certain days a week and like work is busy. It's like it's just easy to
Mm-hmm.
for it to like fly by. But like I'm like I didn't see anyone this month except for
Yeah.
my partners
Yeah.
and my clients. That's all.
There's an old man saying I heard once of long days, short years. And I
Yeah.
think that we're finally at that stage where,
Yeah.
yeah, it's come up a few times in previous interviews about this idea of like, I'm sure there's some word for it, but it's like when you're 7, you've only had 7 summers, so each one is special, and the more
Damn.
summers you have, the bigger the pool of experience you have, so the
Right.
less special they each become.
That's so sad. That's
Yeah,
really
yeah,
depressing to think about, but
yeah,
it's also true.
yeah. But then the opposite side is that like something that I've found I really celebrate and really
Mm.
cherish about aging is that like for me, I don't, okay, I forget shit all the time.
Right.
But I forget dumb shit. I forget shit
Right.
that like the moment I learn it, I'm like, oh, I don't need, like
Right.
names. I don't need to know those.
Yeah, and then you forget it in 2 seconds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like I don't need that. But like important shit, like stuff that happens, things that I know I need to, like I don't forget that shit. And so like
Right.
10, 15 years could have gone by, and if I, if I haven't seen somebody in 15 years, but the last time I saw them was like something, and I run into them, like I remember it, like
Right.
and
Yeah.
so for me, aging has just meant like having a bigger pool of memories and having a bigger pool of things to look back on and
I
enjoy
do.
and
That
appreciate.
is actually really beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm excited to get older.
Oh, it rules.
Honestly, like 20s sucked.
Yeah.
20s suck,
Oh my
and
god.
I cannot wait to be 30 because I've heard it's great.
Yeah. It's the funny thing. I mean, it's got to be something to do with our like youth fetish culture or
Yeah.
something. That like everybody's so terrified of turning 30.
Right.
But for me, goddamn, like look, okay, my 30s have, technically speaking, if you were to look at them objectively, have been rough.
Yeah.
But at the same time too, somehow they've still been better than my 20s.
Yeah. Which is crazy.
Yeah.
But nothing can get worse than some of the stuff that has happened in my 20s. Truly, like mental illness wise, friend wise, like just person wise.
Yep.
Like I was so bad in my early 20s as a
Sure.
human being.
Sure.
And now
But you're
I'm
just
like,
learning.
I'm literally,
Yeah.
and at that point, like, there's also, I was talking to my girlfriend the other day,
Mm.
and she was like, I can't believe I'm 28, and like,
Mhm.
I don't have everything figured out, and this is crazy. And
Yeah.
I was like, dude,
It's fine.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
28 is the new 18,
Mhm,
like,
And I think it's psychotic that we, for so many generations, made people, okay, like obviously I get it because life expectancy was lower.
Yeah.
Like you weren't living past 60
Yeah.
anyway, so like you had to grow up. But at the same time too, like your brain is still like fully solidifying up
Yeah.
until like
27.
20s. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like your brain is still mush. And the fact that for centuries we had babies running everything,
Literally,
like no
yeah.
wonder everything was awful and we
'Cause
had
they
lead in
didn't
the
have
water.
their frontal lobe
and-
developed,
Exactly.
They
right?
had no idea what was going on.
Exactly. You
Yeah.
know, so it's like I celebrate, I think aging is a privilege.
Yeah.
And I think this fear of getting older it's a marketing ploy. You
Yeah.
know, it's just a way for us to keep us feeling bad about ourselves and make sure we buy more to comfort that and pretend we're still young when we're not. And
I think that's exactly what it
Yeah,
is. Yeah. And I don't know. I wish that everyone could just like take a second and breathe a little bit and not feel like everything's rushed.
Yeah.
Because like, like not every day is promised.
No.
But just slow down.
Yeah. I hate that like carpe diem type attitude.
Yeah.
Because the thing is that it's like it's a balance,
Yeah.
right? It's that thing of like I think the intrinsic philosophy behind something like memento mori, right? This sort
Right.
of stoic, remember you're gonna die. You only have so many days. Like
Right.
I think that is important. And I also don't think that means, because that then gets bastardized into the like rise and grind,
Yeah,
that gets bastardized
exactly.
into the like, so you gotta hustle every
Yeah.
fucking day. And it's like, no, some
No.
days
All I
I'm
want to do
gonna-
is sleep.
exactly.
All I want. There was one weekend, I remember I grew up in a very like seize the day kind of household, and it was like, okay, what did you accomplish today? And sometimes it would be like, actually, nothing. I've done nothing today. Not because I was like felt too pressured or anything. It was just I didn't want to, and then I was like, okay, well now you have to do something.
Yeah.
Which like both thank you to my parents for
Sure.
giving me that kind of motivation,
Sure.
and also fuck you.
Yeah.
Love you guys,
Yeah.
but like you suck.
Yeah.
And now it's like I was talking to my mom, I think like a couple months ago, and she was like, "What did you do this weekend? Like, did you get anything, everything done that you wanted?" Because I had this huge list of stuff that I needed to get done, and I was like, "Actually, I spent the entire weekend playing Zelda."
Fuck yes.
And I didn't change my clothes.
Yeah.
I don't even think I brushed my teeth.
Yeah.
It was like kind of gross, but
Yeah.
like it was great.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Did that make you happy?" And I was like, "It made me so happy."
That's the key.
And like just taking that time to slow down
Mhm.
and just do something that I wanted to do that I haven't done since I was a kid. Spent an entire weekend playing video games and
Fuck
like
yes.
staying in my pajamas all weekend.
Yep.
I think this was midsummer too.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to do anything.
Yep.
Felt so good.
It's the best. It's something that I've been learning. I've been on medical leave now. At the time of recording this, I've been on a little over a month, and it's been really weird because like there's been this huge emotional drop because
Yeah.
all the stress has gone away, and initially I thought that was really bad because I was like I was being held up by my stress basically, but then I've let myself just drop and been really leaning into like some weeks I shower every other day and and that was rough at first. I've learned to embrace it for a bit. I also am now at the stage where I'm like some stress is good. Like I need some stress to get myself back up
Exactly.
to,
you level out your stress thresholds.
Yes.
Like if you don't keep it at a certain level, it will drop, and then every time you get a little stress, it's just gonna get worse. Learned about this in school. It was great. You have to kind of like keep yourself not stressed at all times, but like give yourself the chance to be stressed, just so you remember how it feels.
That's
honestly,
just it. And also it's like stress is good. It's not a bad like in the sense that like needing to we need to do stuff, right? And this is what loops me back to this thing of like it's good to take a day or two to do it. It's not helpful to do that for a week straight, but like a couple days. And this is the thing of like you don't have to achieve something every day. What I've been laying out for myself is like what am I going to achieve this week,
right?
Or maybe this month,
even,
like and some of them are still stuff I could do in an afternoon, but it's like if I do it, then it's like now I don't have to fucking panic myself,
exactly,
right? And I think I don't know, I don't have a point, but it's just there's a middle ground here that I think is much more effective and much more helpful for.
It just makes life so much easier when you're easy on yourself.
There it is, exactly. Yeah.
Like I don't want to be stressed all the time. Yeah, like stress is gonna pop up. Like it was actually a part of like my therapy program to like lessen my stress. But I knew that if I took out everything in my life that was stressful, which is also not possible. Like there's
being
always
alive
gonna
is
be
stressful.
It's stressful. Like I didn't ask to be here, but I'm here, and here we are.
Yep.
But it was like, hey, you need to like take out all the stress in your life. But I knew that wasn't possible. But what I kind of came to the conclusion was just I need to be so easy on myself. If something doesn't get done right away, I have crippling OCD.
Same.
And
not crippling, but it's in my wheelhouse.
It's in the wheelhouse.
Yeah.
I love that for us.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a lot of things, but a lot of the times it shows up is if I don't have a perfectly clean home, I cannot leave the house.
Yeah.
So what I've been working on is I will see a mess, and I know that I just have to run to the store to grab bagels.
Yeah.
And a lot of the years it was like I can't leave until everything is spotless, or else something bad's gonna happen when I come outside. And then it's like this weird trickle down effect of me having to clean my entire apartment or being in like complete paralysis because I'm like I don't want to do that. I'm like trying to break from it, and then now what I've been working on is just seeing the mess, acknowledging it. I mean, like that will get dealt with. I'll ask my partner my nesting partner. I'll do it next week. I'll do it tomorrow. I don't care anymore. And it's not that I don't care. It's just that it's not going to kill you. It's not going to kill me. And I'm tired of stressing about stuff like that. So
that's what I've been working on too. Has been the idea of like stress about the things that deserve stress. But more so below that has been what you were bringing up before about like go easy on yourself.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean what's so interesting for me and the way I try to internalize it is the idea of like going on easy on yourself doesn't mean let yourself off the hook.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? It doesn't mean don't do anything and no goals and no work and da-da-da.
Yeah.
No, like you still have to push yourself because if you want something, you do still have to work for it. But if you don't get this done in this time or you don't, achieve it to the level you want or whatever, that doesn't mean you're a failure. That doesn't mean, because my brain immediately goes to, well, fuck me forever and I'm a piece of garbage.
Absolutely.
And, right? And instead it's about being like, oh, okay, so that's where you got. Great.
Yeah. It's like, it is what it is,
Exactly.
like it's not going to kill me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's a very good point.
Yeah.
Goals and just like bigger things in life,
yeah.
you do have to push yourself. And
exactly.
Sometimes you do have to be hard on yourself.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like the clothes haven't been folded.
This is it.
And I'm having a mental breakdown over it.
Yes.
Then I can be easy on myself. And just
exactly.
be like, it'll get done.
Yeah.
Like the dishes haven't been done and I know that and I can like see them in the back of my head.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I have to go home and put those away. And like, if I don't do that, like, but I kind of want to just go home and play Zelda or like, I want to lay in bed and read my book.
Fuck
you
yeah.
know, like, is it going to kill me if that doesn't get done? No.
Exactly.
So what's the next step?
Mm-hmm.
And I think I don't really have a point to that end either, but be easy on yourself, kids.
That's what it comes down to, and I hear it in myself so often. I hear it in my friends so often. I hear it in my partner so often. Where when I sit with what when somebody brings a problem to me, what I end up more often not hearing is like just this like shame, and it really upsets me, if I'm being honest. It really upsets me because it's like I hear the problem and I don't want to jump to like I do my best not to jump to problem solve. I do my best to just hear it about
I'm
it.
the same way.
But I do also, when I hear what they're saying, what I end up hearing is like you're just being really mean to yourself for no reason.
Like take a breath. Dude.
Yeah.
And like I'm also a problem solver.
Yeah.
And it's been like actually my nesting partner has been very good at being like stop doing that, which I love them endlessly for.
Yeah.
Because there's things that you can't solve.
Exactly.
But when I hear my partners being or my friends, anyone being very hard on themselves, even my parents, I'm like, dude, you need to take a breath.
Yeah.
Just like
that's the direction I often take these kinds of conversations.
Yeah.
Is validate what they're saying, validate
exactly.
But what I'll sort of chime in about in a sort of quote unquote problem solving way is being like, just like be nice to you first, because this is not some character flaw. This is not some failing of yours. This is just like you're having a hard time. I was just talking to my mom about this the other day. Like she was being really mean, but and it's what I often hear pop up in my own speech and in other people's speeches. These very casual, self-depreciating. Oh, I'm so stupid. Oh, I fucked that up. Oh, what an idiot.
I'm a fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, I hear that a lot from my partners, and I also hear that from myself a lot. And I've been very consciously trying to not do that. Or if I'm like, I messed that up. Yeah. I'm like, just don't say it.
That's just
Like
I see
the
that
stuff
that
that's
I
messed
clock.
up.
Yeah.
But like not everyone needs to hear it. It's not even like it's not that they don't want to. It's just that like it doesn't need to be put into the universe because it's not a big deal.
That's
and like learning that it's not a big deal is really hard.
Yeah.
But
or
being
also
able to recognize that.
Sorry,
No.
It's the idea of like it can be a big deal.
Yeah.
And that also doesn't mean you're fuck up.
That's very true.
You know, like it's like, that sucks. Like this thing is hard. This thing is a problem.
Yeah.
You're allowed to be upset. You're allowed to be mad. You're allowed to be sad, whatever it is. And that doesn't reflect poorly on you.
Exactly.
That doesn't mean you're a bad person.
It's just the situation that you're in currently is shitty.
Exactly.
But you're not bad. Unless you're a bad person, then.
Well, and even then, I mean, look, obviously there's context and nuance involved in it, but it's like on a macro, like philosophical level, I don't believe that there are good or bad people. I think I really don't. I think that there are people who are misguided. I think there are people who make ineffective choices. I think there are people who make decisions that cause harm.
Right.
But I do not believe that there are intrinsically good or bad people.
Totally.
I think there are people who learned malicious and harmful behaviors and then repeat them.
I see where you're coming from now. At first I was like,
No,
but
there's
now I
like
see what
harm
you
is
mean,
done. There are people who cause harm.
Yeah.
But I don't think that there is an inherent evil.
No,
you know?
no,
Yeah.
it's not born.
Yeah.
Definitely, it's the
It's taught.
The taught and
Yeah.
I can't remember. The saying is.
Nature
versus nurture.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there's predispositions.
Yeah.
There's conditions that are easier to tie in.
Like when the kid is playing with the bunny and it doesn't go
Exactly.
so well.
Exactly.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like there's stuff.
And that
that's
also
all genetic too. Like it's all chemicals in the brain.
That's just it.
That's
why it's not
stuff.
one or the other. It's like
Yeah.
there's no such thing as black and white.
Exactly.
It's a middle ground of the two. There's
Yeah.
predispositions, then there's conditioning, and there's
Exactly.
experience, and
Oh, mental health.
Oh, it's very complicated and fascinating.
We started talking about sobriety when we.
But that's what I mean. This is what I love about
Yeah.
you so much, William Raphael, is that you can just ride with me. You know?
I do, and
Yeah.
I think a lot of our conversations end up being like these weird tangents of
Yeah.
fuckery
Yeah.
that like neither of us could follow for the most part, and I'll probably listen back to this and be like, I don't remember what I said.
Yeah.
I have no idea what I said, and that's okay.
Yep.
If anything,
Yeah.
I'm just telling people to be easy on themselves.
Yes.
Because I said that like 80 times,
Yep.
but that's
Yep.
fine.
Yep.
It's true. I really want to hone that in.
But that circles back to another element of sobriety that I'd be really interested in your sort of your experience with. In that, like, I know for me, the first, I would say, like 6 months to a year, I would say that first year, it gradually diminished. But at the start, there was so much shame involved.
Yeah.
And there was so much self-loathing involved. And as my nervous system was coming back online, after being numbed and muted and mutated for so many years with drugs and alcohol, as that came back online, my first impulse was to hate myself even more.
Totally.
Right? And upon with therapy and upon self-reflection, I was realizing I was using and I was drinking because of my internalized self-loathing.
Right.
But then when you remove those, because it's like there's that AA adage of like alcohol isn't the problem, it's the solution.
Yeah.
And I realized I was using to hide from those problems. But then when you remove that, now you're just with your problems, right?
Yeah.
And so my first impulse was to hate myself even more.
Totally.
And as I learned to let that piece go, and as I learned to like give myself that love first, that's when it started diminishing.
Right.
And I'm I'm not prompting you to be like, do you hate yourself too? But what I mean is that it's like, I guess a piece of it that I'm curious about is like, an experience I had was like, I didn't really feel any sort of benefit to it until probably post 6 months at the earliest.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, like, what was your sort of like journey like in that first
It was kind
phase?
of weird. So like when I didn't really have a choice to get sober. So when I got diagnosed, so I have schizotypal personality disorder and also borderline personality disorder. When I got diagnosed with both of those, I was like coming off of like a mini psychosis.
Yeah.
So it wasn't fully there, but it wasn't fully not there, which is kind of like the middle ground for schizotypal. You can Google it if you want. It is quite interesting.
I have. It's fascinating.
It's fascinating.
not to diminish your.
I had
your
no idea that
experience.
it existed.
Yeah,
like the reason why I got assessed is because my GP thought I had schizophrenia. And it wasn't quite that, but the thing was that schizotypal could be a precursor to schizophrenia. So when I was talking to my psychiatrist, he was like, you need to stop drinking and you need to stop smoking weed specifically, because that's what I was using the most. And it would be like smoking bowls in my apartment.
Yeah.
I would get home, I would have maybe 6.
Yeah.
Which was like, I was constantly in this very high state, and I would also like buy a case of beer, and I would go.
And you disassociated, and you're like
completely.
Yeah,
and I remember like watching a TV show. Like I was watching The Last Airbender with my partner, my nesting partner, and we rewatched it. I want to say maybe 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And I didn't remember a single thing.
Yeah.
Because I remember seeing it, but I couldn't see it.
Yes.
Like I wasn't processing anything.
Yeah.
And like I'm like not unhappy, but I was also dealing with a lot of mental issues that I didn't know were happening.
Yes.
So I was having the hallucinations, but a lot of them were internal, internal audio hallucinations, which are also very fascinating.
I get my BBD gives me I get audio stuff.
Yes,
and I get shadow people,
which is
in
so
an
annoying.
episode.
Which also people don't realize that is a part of BPD. That's
Yes,
why I think it does separate itself from what is complex PTSD.
Yes.
CPTSD.
Yeah.
That's a tangent, but so my
all
sobriety,
the puppy pile of conditions are so interesting.
Weird fascination with mental disorders has been a lifelong thing. Like I've always I took psychology and stuff, so it's just been an ongoing process. So I knew kind of what was happening when I started to lose myself, and I started to smoke less weed. This was pre getting diagnosed, so I started to smoke less weed. I was drinking a lot less, but I was still having all these things. So I was like, okay, that could be an issue. And earlier that year, I'd also been, doing acid. I think at the beginning of the year, my nesting partner and I celebrated by candy flipping, which is acid. And I want to say it was MDMA.
Yeah, that's usually the hippie flip. Yeah.
So
it's a great night. But
it was very fun, but I also felt nothing.
Oh.
Which was very interesting because I was like, this is my normal. I don't know what's happening.
It's like me and Coke. I was like, I'm just gonna go to bed now.
Yeah, I was like, this is very normal for me. The come down was awful because I could feel everything starting to kind of come out of my system. Again, another side tangent. But so I was off all of these things. They were still in my system, but stuff was still happening. So I was still getting hallucinations, the voices. I felt so away from my body. It felt like my body was 10 feet behind at all times, and I could not focus. I was going through my day. It was just very day to day. I knew what I had to do. I would go to work. I called out a lot, and luckily my boss is very, very understanding. But I would go to work, do my day, and not remember anything.
Yeah.
So when I finally got assessed, back to that, my psychiatrist was like, "You need to stop smoking weed and drinking because." Again, schizotypal is can be a precursor to schizophrenia, and that can be something that comes down the line.
Right.
And I do have a family history of uncles and stuff that have bipolar disorder.
Oh yeah.
So it's not like it's far.
Sure.
It's not like it's a far off thing of persistent mental illness.
Yeah. Well, and it's that thing, like all these conditions. The Venn diagrams of them are there's just slivers of
really
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
And so when I got that diagnosis, I was like, oh fuck. I don't want to stop smoking weed.
Yeah.
But I also was like, I also don't want to stop drinking because I love drinking. That's how I go out. That's how I meet people. That's queer spaces. That is everything to me. What am I gonna do?
Which is maybe more of a them problem than a you problem.
Absolutely,
we could probably dig into that.
Yeah, absolutely, it is.
But
I was like, I have no idea what to do. I this is my nightly routine now, and I was upset that I had to quit. I knew that it was something that I had to do in the back of my mind, but at the front of my mind, I was like, I don't need to do that. I'm fine. And then as I was researching more and more into this. There's not much on it.
Yeah.
Into this personality disorder. I was like, oh, I really can't. I really can't do this. And then there was something that just clicked, and I was still really upset about it.
Yeah.
I was like, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. I'm 26 years old.
Yeah.
I can't drink. I can't smoke weed. All of my friends are doing these things. One of my partners is Irish. I remember the last time I had a full drinking binge was on St. Patrick's Day that year.
Yeah.
And that was right after I got my diagnosis. Right. And I was like, this is the last time.
Yeah.
So I just had a full day out, and I think we were drinking from 8 a.m. because there was a rugby game on till 9 p.m.
God damn.
And then I went home and slept.
Yeah.
But it probably took me about 6 months, even to a year of me finally being like, I don't need a drink to have fun.
Yeah.
And going out to wrestling with you, and every time I would go up to the bar and be like, I'm gonna get a drink. I'll just get one. It's fine. I just don't. I get up there and I'm like, actually, I'm just gonna have a bubbly, or I'm just gonna have a soda.
Yep.
Because that's what I really want. I don't want to not have the experience of being sober, which is also really weird because I have photos of stuff of being having fun while drinking, and I'm like, that would have been really fun.
Yeah.
Now I do allow myself to have a drink very occasionally. And it's just because I like the taste.
Sure.
I was on my anniversary with one of my partners. And I had a craft beer, and then the other partner, I had wine or something like that.
Yeah.
And just little things to just be like, I'm celebrating, and that's fine, but it's no longer drinking a case of beer every 2 days,
Yes.
smoking 6 bowls. I smoked weed twice since, and like that little break of sobriety where I was like, I just want to try it again.
Yeah,
I want to see what happens.
Yeah.
And I have been having these thoughts again where I'm like, I kind of want to smoke weed again.
Yeah.
But I know what's gonna happen.
Yes. Yeah.
And my brain goes so wiki wonky. The next 2 weeks,
Yeah.
I'm
It's just
barely a
not
human.
worth it.
It's
Yeah.
not worth it.
Yeah.
And like I'm busy. I got stuff to do.
Literally.
I don't want to have all these feelings
Mhm.
and have all these hallucinations
Yeah.
or these bad thoughts. It's just not worth it. So
Yeah.
I would say even the last 6 months now has been where I'm finally like, yeah, it's fine. I don't want to drink.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So that's a year and a half,
Yeah.
which is a long time.
It's amazing. It's amazing that you got that.
It's
Yeah.
like I'm proud of myself that
Yeah.
I still don't smoke weed.
Mhm.
I still smoke nicotine, but you know, I still vape.
Yeah, literally vaping as we record
Yeah,
this.
we are, and we were talking about this
Yeah,
earlier as
yeah.
well. But it's better. Like everything is so much better.
Yeah.
I'm so more cognitively aware, and that is I didn't realize how important that was to me because I wasn't experiencing life. I was just
Getting
a
through it.
body. I was just a body.
Yep.
And now I'm actually experiencing things, feeling
Mhm.
enjoyment and love. I don't feel enjoyment and love and things that I think are very tangible. Well, like, not
Mhm.
tangible. Like it's not. I don't think I feel the same way that I would say like a neurotypical person does.
Sure. Yeah.
Which I think you would also
Exactly.
agree
yeah,
with.
Yeah.
Um,
It's much more heightened.
It
It's-
is.
Yeah.
But mine's actually the opposite. It's very dulled. So it's like I'm like, yeah, I love you.
Mhm.
I know that. And like sometimes I think it's the thinking part of my brain that
Sure.
does it, but it is the feeling part. I
Yeah.
just don't feel things correctly.
I
correctly in
I know exactly what you
quotations.
mean. I was just having this conversation the other day about how like I feel these things. I feel them really deeply.
Yeah.
I don't know how to express them beyond just like
Yeah.
thinking them and feeling them though. Like I really struggle to express
Yeah.
love. Even though it is like deep and sincere and
Yeah.
it's there, but there's like a cutoff of like
There is.
I don't
and I'm
know
like,
what
I don't
to
think
do.
it's a trauma thing. I just
Yeah.
think that's a part of my personality.
Sure.
Truly. And I
Yeah.
like it could be a personality disorder thing.
Sure.
Or it could just be where
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't like I know that I love my family,
Mhm.
but I'm also okay if I don't see them all the time.
Sure.
You know, and like I really adore them and I love my
Mhm.
sister. She lives in a different city.
Yeah.
I don't think about her that often.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but I'm
Yeah.
like, I do love her.
Yeah.
But like
Well,
I'm
this
not
is-
calling her all the
To
time.
me, that's like an overlap of the ADHD part, where it's
Yeah.
like there's no object permanence. So it's like for me, you know, with my family, it's like my dad will call and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, I have a dad," you know, and it's like, and then I'll talk to him and I'll be like, "That was lovely," and
That's just it.
then I'll go back to my life and I'll just be like, "Dum dum dum."
Yeah,
Nobody
and
exists, you know,
Nobody
like
exists.
yeah,
Like I'm just here. If I see you, hi.
yeah.
But it's just I like everything is very dull.
Mm-hmm.
Which knowing that now,
Mhm.
when I was drinking and like smoking weed specifically,
Mm-hmm.
I could feel so much more.
Yeah.
And I'm on a lot of medication now,
Yeah.
so that also has something to do with
Of
it.
course.
But I could like feel so much more. And
Yeah.
I could like I can't cry because I'm on testosterone.
Sure.
Like that's just a thing.
Sure.
And it burns when I cry,
Yeah.
so when I do, it just
Yeah, because
sucks.
men don't cry.
Men don't cry.
Yeah.
That's actually in the man handbook that I got when I first started transitioning.
The man book?
The man book.
Oh.
Did you get one?
I did actually.
yeah,
Yeah,
at
they were
birth.
like, should we?
Yeah.
I guess, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first page was men don't cry. So don't. No, it was it burns so much, and I think it's just my tear ducts are just like shut. I was like
Wow.
sometimes I try to cry
Yeah.
and then it just doesn't come, and I'm like,
Wow.
well, that was pointless. But I don't know where I was going with that. I completely lost track. But I was feeling and now that I feel everything more dully, I'm like, oh, okay, that actually makes a lot more sense for me because I was feeling way too much and it felt too much.
Yeah. But it's
And I
also
was
more
definitely-
like it's more because you're more cognitive. It's more controlled. It's more
It is
regulated.
It is a
you
lot
know?
more
Yeah.
regulated,
Yeah.
and like BPD brain,
Yeah.
whereas it's like I'm like in an up state all the time,
Yeah.
which is just like it feels like in a constant state of anxiety
Sure.
and like what is it? It's like your lizard brain is always open. You know which part? You know
Something
that,
like that. Yeah.
it's like
yeah,
the
yeah.
little part and the little flap at the back of your head.
Yeah.
That it's just always open, and it's like the danger
Yes,
basically.
yeah.
And like that part was always open,
Yeah.
also because I was drinking and smoking weed
Yeah,
and
yeah.
doing drugs. And and that part was always open, so I could just like I felt like I felt a lot more, which might also not be true.
It's so interesting too, because it's like my experience with that feels like it's similar, but flipped in that, like, I found that because in my natural state with my nervous system now, it's like I feel so much. My emotions are so elevated, and but with my therapy work, with my DBT work, with my medication and all these things, it keeps the sort of danger spikes, whether it's spike high, spike lows,
right?
It keeps them level, and I think that I was drinking and using to dull those,
right.
because for me it's like, I think in my sobriety I struggled to express these things because they even with the regulation, they still, it's easy to flood my system in one direction or the other, and so it's easy to shut down. But when I was drinking, it dulled everything. It brought everything down to a level where I could comfortably express stuff.
Totally,
you know.
Totally,
so it was way easier to be like, I fucking love you, man. You know.
Yeah.
Because it would bring everything down, and my nervous system would be shut down, so I could express. You know. Because even with the dull, it's dulling already something really big. Yeah. So dulling it just brings it down to normal size, right?
Mine was definitely the opposite, where I was like, everything was heightened, and I was like, I can finally feel something. Which was like, I just like it, like numb to life. I remember my parents saying that I was a silent child. Like I rarely cried. I rarely did much. I was very quiet. And I think, again, that's just who I am as a person, and it all makes sense. It made sense after I got the diagnosis.
I think I got the man handbook you were supposed to get when
I think
you were
so.
younger.
Yeah, I think so. It was switched. That's why I
was like,
came out a girl.
Boring.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to go watch Practical Magic again.
I just want to play with Hot Wheels, okay? Actually, for my, like, I think my 19th birthday, maybe my 20th, I can't remember. The year after I came out. For my birthday, my mom got me a Hot Wheels track, like the one, because she was like, "You never got one, so I wanted to give you one."
Like the one that shoots them through in the loop.
Yeah,
it
was so good, and I was like, I feel seen. Thank you. But yeah.
I love it.
Sobriety's weird.
It's weird as fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy with it. I love it, and it's funny. I often worry that I come across as condescending about it, or like kind of like smug, but I'm really not trying to be. But I always, whenever a friend is like, I'm gonna do like sober October or something, I'm always like, don't bother. You know, like, because it's like if you and this is why I'm like, I think that's a bad take. I think I shouldn't be doing that. But from my reasoning behind it is that it's like, if you genuinely think you have a problem with your drinking, a month off isn't like, that's going to be the worst. So you're going to want to just drink again. Yeah. So if you really think you have a problem, you have to stop for a while. Like, you have to really stop.
It's very intentional.
You know, like, and because I didn't even feel a genuine benefit till at least 6 months. Yeah. You know? So it's like, if you really think you have a problem, you have to give yourself that amount of time.
Yeah, and that's also for people that are like heavy drinkers.
Yeah,
you know, like if you have a drink occasionally, and you just want to do like a no alcohol for a month.
Yeah,
totally.
But
go
then it's
for
like,
it.
but it's like, in that case, it's like people who announce they're leaving social media. I'm like, why are you telling anyone that?
Yeah,
you know,
just do it.
Just do it. Fuck off. You brought it up really in passing before, but I think it's a really interesting thing to circle into and kind of dig into a little bit, is this idea of the sort of importance and the way that it's like very tied into like queer culture. Yeah. And almost like queer identity is like just like casually doing some special K and then going to the whatever.
Yeah,
and
or
like,
just drinking all night.
I mean, obviously drinking is the key one, but then there's so many casual drug users.
Very
and
much so, yeah.
And when I got sober, the thought of like going to the birdhouse or going to Pride or something like that was terrifying at first.
Yeah.
You know?
I still can't go to the birdhouse, and it's just because the first time I went when I was sober, you actually drove me home.
That's right.
I was having an awful time because I'm seeing all these people, and it was very fresh. Like, it was a couple months.
Yeah, you were still in
I was still in the I want to drink too, and like very stompy feet. I felt like a toddler because I was like, I want to do that too. Yeah. But it was because I really couldn't. Yeah. And we
got sober for such different reasons that I totally understand it. I and I'm not saying yours wasn't like, but you didn't choose it or something, but it's like I could totally understand your
it
frustration
felt forced
with
upon
it.
me on the
yeah,
at the
yeah,
time, where it was like, you have to do this, or
Yeah.
else something bad's gonna happen. And then once I reconciled with that fact that was true, I was better.
yeah. Whereas I
But
was just tired of that life.
yeah,
I was
which
just
is
not,
also very fair. And
yeah.
I actually, like, pause for a second. I had a picture on my phone from a night. I remember this night very clearly. I rarely blacked out. But I had a picture on my phone because I was puking in my toilet after a night out drinking, and it was like a Thursday. I had to work the next morning at 9 a.m. and it was very, very late, and I was with a bunch of friends, and we were drinking so much. I want to say it was a birthday party, like fish bowls, and like we everything to ourselves, and it was a night.
Yeah.
And I remember like inviting someone over and not telling my partner. I didn't end up having them over, but I was like, I'm gonna do something silly and stupid.
Yeah.
Obviously didn't invite them over. If you're listening to this, they did come over, I promise. Because I have this picture on my phone of me literally puking and crying in the bathtub, or not in the bathtub, in the toilet, and I was like, I never want to feel this way again. But I've had a lot of moments like that. Which
I haven't thrown up in over 2 years because I stopped drinking. And like,
it's great.
the best.
I'm like,
oh my
maybe
God.
when I was like really sick one time, maybe that. But like, that's fine. I can deal with that.
And I was a quick puker when I was a drinker. When I was oh my God, I puked like clockwork. I would because I would binge drink.
Right.
I'd puke, and then I'd keep drinking more. Right. I'd make room. And it was almost like it was like a game for me.
What was
it was
that,
like,
puke and rally?
Yeah, exactly. The rally was the best part.
Yeah.
It was and it was like a joke to me. But like, rarely did a night go by of drinking where I wasn't puking somewhere at some point, and it's awful. What an
Which
awful
also, like,
feeling.
when you're out at spaces,
Yeah.
you see that all the time.
Oh,
Someone
yeah.
pukes in the corner, and they're like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
And like, being in a space like that now is so jarring. I like, when we were at that party at the birdhouse, it was like this afternoon kind of drag show, very fun. But I could like see people, and like, I'm very grateful that the birdhouse does this. They have open drug policy. Like, use it openly. Don't have to hide it. It's all good. Just make sure that you're safe, and they have people there that can regulate stuff. But when I was seeing it and like freshly sober, it was so okay, because I was like, I want to be in that.
Yeah.
That's the mindset I want to be in when I'm partying, for sure. And like, partying, I think queer culture has it can shift into that.
Yeah.
I found a lot of spaces that aren't like that. Like, I went to trans boxing this weekend, and it was very, you're just here to move your body.
Yeah.
And
I shouldn't be implying that it's like every queer space is a
lot of
drug
it is.
den, but it's like, it's very tied in.
It is, and like, I kind of love that.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like the drug use and everything, but like, party, have a good time.
Freedom. Yeah.
The freedom of that, the freedom that we can have these spaces that are open to party, and we don't have to hide it, is wonderful. However, it's just not for more. Not saying that it's not for everyone. Not everyone should do it. I think if you want to drink, do drugs, party, go for it. But the queer spaces are very tied into that. And everything has to do with drinking. And you can't go to a party that people aren't drinking. That's why last year I had a sober birthday party, and it was just at my house. Because I was like, I don't want anyone drinking. No one. If you're doing drugs, do it outside. You can, just don't do it. Because it's my space now. And it's all my queer friends, but this is a space where you're not going to drink. And if that's not cool with you, that's your fault.
I've had an interesting experience in that. Like, actually, your partner was sort of my, I don't know what you want to call, like, they were sort of my anchor through my first dipping my toes into going out, and what they would do is, they were very gracious, and they would come to the birdhouse with me when it would open. We would get tickets to shows, and we would go at 10. So there was like no one there.
Totally. You were the only one there.
We were literally the only ones there.
Very awkward.
Right? Yeah. And we would just like sit and talk. We would just like post up at a bench or something, and we would talk, and I would drink a couple Pepsis, Diet Pepsis, and then we'd go home. And that helped me reacclimate to being around the music and the lights and the sensations and the stuff, while also not feeling too overwhelmed by like everyone is fucked up, and
exactly.
And that really helped, because that. But then even I tried doing my first Pride, I think at year 1, and it was weird, and it was hard.
Yeah, it was
and
very
it was
hard.
really hard.
I would just went with my girlfriend that year, and like, because she had never gone to the Pride Parade.
Yeah.
And I remember used to just filling up big old water bottles with a bunch of alcohol and then just getting absolutely sloshed for the whole day from 9 a.m. until 3 a.m.
Well, that's just
later.
it. Yeah, it's Pride, so it
It's
goes
Pride,
late.
and it goes late, and it's very fun. So we were on Davie, and like Davie's pretty dead these days for Pride. I don't know what it was like last year, but we just went to like the sober Pride event last year.
Yeah.
And it was awesome.
Yeah.
They had these amazing drag performers. Everything was sober. They had bubbly. Like, it was totally great.
Fuck yeah.
But the first year, I was just like, we're at clubs because that's what she wanted to do. And I was like, yeah, it's your first parade kind of Pride. We'll go to Davie. We'll do the thing.
Yeah.
I've done it before, but I'll take you.
Fuck yeah.
And there's so many drunk people all around me at these clubs.
Yeah.
And I just kept drinking like non-alcoholic stuff because I was like, I need something and I need to have a drink in my hand. And that's kind of me all the time.
Non-alc at Pride is a lifesaver. Yeah.
And like, I think people don't realize that. Sometimes I'm like, the non-alcoholic stuff is not worth the money.
Yeah. I wouldn't drink it regular times, but like at an event, it's a
lifesaver.
Yeah.
There's something about it where it's almost a placebo effect.
Sure.
But also like, it just makes me feel included.
Thank you.
And I love being included in stuff. Yeah. And I think that's a big part as well, which is like, back to my point being like, queer spaces are so revolved around these things. Yeah. And again, I love it.
Yeah.
But there comes with a price. And like, for people who are sober, it's very hard to find those spaces that are not that. Like, it took me a very long time to find something like Queer Choir, and it took like through friends of friends of friends of friends to find a thing like trans boxing that I just went to for the first time, which was very cool. It was all queer people. Yeah. Finding queer spaces that are meant to be sober, and you're there to do something and meet people and have fun, but in a very, I'm gonna say like almost childlike way, where you're it's essentially play, just without the drugs, and without the drinking, which is very nice.
Yeah. You know, what's interesting too though is that I think it's a double-sided. I think the other side of that coin is like, how do you show up in that space as well?
Yeah.
Because I did find this most recent Pride, I ended up going to The Hangover, like the big Saturday. You know, I'd never done that day before. I'd never gone to that party before. It was like the legendary.
Totally.
It's been going for 20 years, whatever. You know, and what I did for myself was I really kind of like, I essentially like autism prepped. So I had my loops, and I had sunglasses. I've never had prescription sunglasses before, so I just never wear sunglasses because I'm blind. And this year I finally got a pair of prescription sunglasses. So I had my shields, you know, I had my shields on, I had my loops in, and I had my non-alc drink, you know, and I had a fucking blast.
See, I'm thinking like I would like to start dipping my toes and stuff like that. And I think like the whole prep is very important because I do get so overstimulated and overwhelmed with everything that's going on. There's people all around me. If I lose a friend, I'm like a lost puppy dog, you know, like I just want to be able to prepare myself for the worst.
And I had a good crew. It was a small, but it was a tight crew. We all stuck together, and when we did split up, we knew where we were going. We had rally points, you know, and I ended up staying way longer than I thought I would.
Really?
Oh yeah, I stayed for hours, and I ended up like dancing, and I ended up like just, you know, doing all the things you would do when you were drunk. But what was so interesting was that, like, at one point, my friend Lee, who has been on the show recently, love of my life, oh my god, the best. But they were so funny because they were fucked up.
Yeah.
But they were gassing me up so much because they were like, I have to be fucked up to be able to do this, and you're here
having fun,
you know, and they were like, I'm jealous of you because they were like, you're having as much fun as I am, but you're sober, and they were like, that's so incredible, it's so inspiring, it's so, you know, and like they were,
which is such a, like, hearing that.
Yes,
I've heard it like a few times, and I'm like, thank you.
I know. I was like, that's right, baby. You know,
right? Like, absolutely, I can be sober.
Right?
And I think that this is the year that I can get to that point
Yeah.
where I'm like,
Again, it's that thing of like you can't just like flip and go.
No,
it's like
it
you've
takes
got to
a
like
lot of
reprogram, you know, and you've
Yeah.
got to give yourself that time. That's why like a
Like,
month, like don't
I'm from
bother.
Alberta,
you know?
and like I started drinking when I was 13.
That's
so
just it.
13-ish, and like I was
Exactly.
like very controlled. Like my parents would let me have a drink.
Sure. Yeah.
They knew that I was going to experiment with it, so
Yep.
they just let me do it.
Fuck
but
yeah.
very controlled.
Yep.
And then 18 is the
Yes.
legal age.
Yeah.
18th birthday.
Oh,
And
mayhem.
on. There was times where I was going out for like 7 nights a week.
Oh, yeah.
With friends.
Oh yeah.
And getting absolutely sloshed, doing drugs, and waking up the next morning and still being drunk but going to work.
Literally.
Or still being high and going to work.
Yep.
And just like that programming was so ingrained into me until the last 2 years.
Exactly.
Which was such a weird flip, especially because my brain was still developing.
That's just it. Exactly.
And now I have to lose all of that. What I thought was a part of my life, what I thought that I had to do because I'm queer. And it's now I'm just like, I think I could go have fun and dance. I went to the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the very classic midnight screening on Halloween with my girlfriend. And I had a drink because I was like, I think that this is the night that I'm going to do it.
Sure.
And again, I only drink very seldomly now. And it's one drink. It's never anything more.
I wanted to throw in something.
Yeah.
Something I forgot to throw in earlier. What I was meaning about like why I don't like that take of my own about don't is because harm reduction I think is far more beneficial.
Totally.
And I think that like this sort of traditional classical abstinence cold turkey forever it doesn't work for everyone.
No.
It's had to work for me because of just my shit.
Yeah.
But I think having a drink is fine.
Yeah.
And I think people again it goes back to back of like go easy on yourself. I was talking to somebody recently who was getting sober and they were like, how'd you get to 2 years? I've been a couple months, but I still every once in a while drink. And I'm like, so?
Yeah.
Like whatever.
Sure. It's
know,
fine.
like
you can still say that you're sober.
That's
I
just
say that I'm
it.
sober-ish or like 99%
Exactly.
sober. Which I'm very okay with.
Yeah.
It's like a vegan eating cheese every now and again.
That's just it.
You know?
That was the example I was
exact
thinking
same
of.
thing. If it's not going
Exactly.
to harm you,
Yeah.
then it's okay. And like it wasn't like it was
And don't let it
harming me.
derail the rest of it, right? Just because
Exactly.
if you don't eat meat and then you have some cheese, that doesn't mean suddenly you have to now go eat meat again.
It doesn't mean you're gonna go grab a burger and like you're gonna feel bad about yourself because you promised that yourself that you would stick to this veganism.
And you still need to be mindful. Like
Exactly.
I think it's really great that you can have that drink. You still need to be really.
I need to be very mindful.
And very cognizant of like not slipping more.
And I always
but,
to my partners, I'm like, maybe I can do one more.
Yeah.
And they're like, actually?
Yeah.
And I'm very grateful. Like at the time, whenever they say like, actually, you've already had one.
Yeah.
Remember, either you're driving, and like legally I can drive. I've got my full license. I can drive with a drink in my system. But my tolerance is also a lot lower these days.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
So when I was at this Rocky Horror Picture Show thing, I was having so much fun.
Fuck yeah.
Without a drink. And
I've done a midnight Halloween. It's a blast.
I will be doing that every year for the rest of my life.
So fun.
It's so much fun. We dressed up.
Did they do the thing? Did somebody blow away? My favorite part of the whole movie is when somebody blows away the fog from the pool.
No. Oh, it wasn't like
people weren't getting up and doing stuff.
No, it was a screening of it, and we were all just like heckling the show.
Oh, okay.
Which was very fun. Like they had like the heckle kind of prompts.
Gotcha.
On the side.
Okay.
There's definitely people at the stands that have been there a lot of times before that were like really on it.
Fuck yeah.
And like
there's one moment where whatever's happening, it's near the end, and the pool is all foggy, and then the pool clears away, and what'll happen is somebody in the audience will run up and like blow the smoke away.
Hilarious.
It's so fucking funny.
I really hope next year that they do that. And if they don't,
you just go do it. Yeah.
But they did do the whole like virgin thing.
Yep.
But everyone gets up to do the time warp.
Fuck yeah.
And I was dancing, and like the drag queen that was there as Frankenfurter came up and was like, "You're doing like you look like you're having so much fun," and I was like. It was so vindicating because yes, I had like half a drink in my system.
Sure,
but still, I was like,
It's nothing like
it's nothing like I used to do, and I wouldn't have done that 6 months ago.
Exactly.
If I was like still even 6 months ago sober.
Yes. Yeah.
So I can't remember what my entire point was, but like
we're just telling stories.
And it's sober is great.
It really
is.
is.
It's not for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. One last thought about this idea of like I think as I hear myself unpacking this idea of like the sort of interconnectedness of drugs and alcohol and queer spaces, like I can't help but feel like maybe it's less of a queer issue and more of like a North American or Canadian issue
You know,
because
that's a good point.
because like I can't off the top of my head think of many straight spaces that aren't alcohol forward. You know, like
Yeah.
you know, so it's like I don't know if it's necessarily. I think I almost want to review my own stance on that.
I think you have a very good point, and
right?
I think we probably like could like
We just don't really have culturally spaces of any kind that aren't alcohol forward.
Exactly.
You know, you go to a sports show, whatever those are called.
Yeah.
You go to a game.
A sports
show. You go to a game. A game. You go to the theater.
Yeah.
You go to music. You go to whatever.
You go to dinner.
There's
like,
always
everything.
alcohol.
Yeah.
You know,
it's very ingrained in our society
yeah.
system. I guess both queer and straight.
You know, it's just that then
I think that's just the space that we're in.
This is
I suppose.
Right? Yeah. But then there is something deeper about like there is such you know, to me it's almost like it's like the caricature of the queer space in the same way that it's like the suffering, starving, tortured artist.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like you don't have to suffer for your art. You just need space to be able to like imagine and think. You know, you just need stability, if anything. In the same way that like I think that there's this image of like you know, there's a song from a musical Ride the Cyclone that's like about like I want to be that fucked up girl, you know, right? You know, and it's like this dream of like I want to die in the gutters of Paris, you know, and it's like I think that's the caricature of the queer ideal.
I think that's very on it as well.
Yeah,
like, I can see that in my head.
Right,
that
exactly.
Image. It's very clear.
Yeah.
I might do some research on that and just like kind of deep dive and see if I can find a couple articles on why queer spaces have been so affiliated with alcohol. And like I know that it's both straight and queer spaces. Like I'm not saying that it's
no
all the queer people drink and do drugs.
Yeah. Straight people are all straight.
They're
you know,
straight
edge. You know,
but I would like to see if there's any articles on why it has been so ingrained because I'm sure that there's a reason. But it's also, I think it's that underground thing.
Yeah.
I think that's a thought. That's like my own personal take on it. But I would like to see if there's any
traditionally marginalized groups needing some escape,
makes sense.
You know, like
it makes freedom. A lot of sense.
Yeah, there's a lot of things at play there.
But I would like to do some more deep dive research into that.
You've got homework, and we'll do a follow up.
I actually will do like a jot notes next time.
Fuck yeah!
What I learned. Because I am very curious about that. So I'm gonna go do that.
I love that.
Yeah.
You know, this is actually perfect timing. We're at about the hour mark. And you know, I think it's good to start the wind down for what we'll call part one.
Yeah.
But you know, before we really move away from everything, I really want to say, you know, William Raphael, I love you so goddamn much.
Oh,
it's always such a joy to talk to you, and like when I get to do like an in-person interview, it's so special. It's so special for me, and like thank you for coming over and chatting with me.
Honestly, I might just stay here.
I would, you know, please, by all means.
It's closer to work,
right? Hey, you know. But yeah, no. You know, we took a little break in the middle of recording, but we were saying like. We have so much more to talk about, and I will have you back on very soon.
Absolutely.
So yeah, you have some homework.
I do.
We'll do a follow up on drugs and queer spaces,
amazing,
and
a bunch of other stuff,
You know,
whatever comes to the brain.
Right.
Yeah.
But circling back to like sort of, you know, just to try to keep it a little on theme with the show. I always like to like ask about like what's something people could do to be a good friend this week. But I'm curious, like, what I'm curious about is I'm trying to sort of morph that a little bit, and I'm doing this on the fly, so bear with me. I don't think I'm interested in sort of like do one thing and then never do it again,
right?
You know, so I think more what I'm curious about your take on is the idea of like what is an area of friendship that you would recommend reflecting on this week to sort of like think about how are you showing up in that area and what would you like to do differently?
Interesting.
Yeah.
For just myself? Or
no,
for,
like, well, just like for listeners, you know? Yeah, for listeners. Because the classic question is, what's one thing listeners could do this week to be a better friend?
Yeah.
You know?
But like, what's one specific area?
Yeah. Like how would you go about unpacking something like And how would you recommend people maybe try?
We were actually talking about this earlier.
Mhm.
I recommend people actually texting their friends and saying, I want to hang out with you.
Yeah.
And that goes for everybody. I know
Mhm.
that sometimes it's a two-way street.
Mhm.
It's like, we both have BPD, you know, like, they're not texting me, so fuck them.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. If you want to see somebody, even if you have like a qualm with them or something has happened,
Yeah.
but you want to see them, message them.
Yeah.
We're at this stage where we have access to people all the time.
Yep.
Not that everyone's entitled to that access,
Yes.
but you can send a message.
Yep.
And that's all it takes.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen somebody in a while, a friend, just send them a message, see how they're doing, see if they want to hang out, or just chat with them on the phone or something.
Yeah.
That's a really good way to be a friend, I think, is just saying that I'm still here. I know we haven't seen each other in a while. I'm still here, and we'll talk as soon as we can.
Yeah. And I would actually build on that because we were talking about this before recording, and I think this is such a vital step and such a vital piece because it's something I'm struggling with right now, and something I'm trying to practice is to be the person who reaches out, but when that feels like it's not being reciprocated, right? Still doing it because it's a part of my values. Maybe it's a part of listeners' values to be connected. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to reach out, connect, and also say, I'd really love it if you did the same for me in the future, right?
It's just setting up like a friendship guideline.
Yeah,
and I think
that's
that's really
a great way.
really important because like I think people like we started being friends, and like as we get closer, it's like okay, like now we're kind of like not enmeshed in our lives, but like. I know stuff about you, you know stuff about me. Like our lives have intertwined quite a bit throughout the years. And like, okay, like if that's what you're saying that you need me to do, I will absolutely do that. But now I know because I didn't know before.
Yes.
And like again, object permanence.
Yeah.
If you're not in front of me, I think about you very passingly, and then sometimes I'll send a message.
Yeah.
And it's just not something that I think about all the time because of scatterbrain.
I think you just cracked it right there. I think that's the recommendation is the idea of like figure out what your friendship parameters are.
Yeah.
Like what are your friendship needs, and have you done those for other friends, and have you said those are your needs to your friends?
I'm like they're like that's exactly it. Just set some. I'm not going to say boundaries because I think some boundary setting is not like
that's why I like the idea of parameters.
Parameters are great. It was like I would love if you did this.
Yes.
Not I need you to. I think need is a very heavy word. But I would love it if you also asked me to hang out. I would love it if you came over and like hung out with me and we just sat and did nothing, or I would love if we just talked because I haven't talked to you in a while.
Well, and it's the idea
Something
too.
like
What I like is the idea of like I don't think it's very effective to like open with a demand, right? To open with like
I need you to
do this for me, right? And this
Yeah.
is what I always like to recommend. Like, do it for someone first,
Yeah.
right? Model it for someone else, right? And then say, and also like, it would feel good if you would do that for me in the future, right? Like sort of. So it's reciprocal, and that's not with the intention of like being manipulative and being like tit for tat, but it's being this is how I show and receive love.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to show you this love, and I also want you to know that's how I would like to receive it.
Yeah.
If you can.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
Like,
and like I think giving your friends your what is it, the love or affection?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like the ways of affection?
Yeah, like the love languages thing.
Thank you.
Yes,
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Giving your friends your love language.
Yes.
And being like, okay, what's yours?
Yes. Yeah.
And if you don't know it, there's a bunch of websites to
but
figure
like
it out.
talk about it, right?
Yeah, talk about your
I
love
think,
language with your friends because friends are a part of your life.
Yep.
And I don't know, like if I want you to be around in my life, I need to make sure that we're going to be as close as possible. Maybe not together all the time, but like I want you to know what my love languages are, so that way you can show that to me and I can show that to you. Yeah. Just like have an understanding of each other better. You know, it always gets to that point. Yeah.
I love it. William Raphael, is there anywhere you would like listeners to find you? Do you have anything you want to plug? Do you have any do you want to stay mysterious and aloof? What's your preference?
You are absolutely allowed to follow me. My Instagram's on public. That's the word I'm looking for. It's what is it? It's Will Pacheco. You can figure out how to spell that if you want. And
It'll be in the show notes.
I'm also a dog walker, dog trainer, so hit me up.
Yeah.
If you want me to train your dogs.
Yeah. He's a ace dog trainer.
Did I train you?
Where's my bell? Where's my bell? Yeah.
Is that how you know?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The purely audio format, and I just did a little dog movement. That really helped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do it.
I love it.
On my field profile, it does say dog handler, not in a sexual way. I think that's a very important thing to.
Yes. You'll get a certain type of swiper on field with that.
Yeah, which also I'm not entirely opposed to, but I don't think I'm ready for it.
Fair. Yeah. William Raphael, I love you so goddamn much. You don't know my middle name.
I don't. Damn it. Jimothy.
That's all we need. That's all we need. I can't think of anything else, and I don't know. I don't really have a sign off.
Bye.
So, yeah. All right. Okay. Thank you. I love you. And that's it. Thank you one more time to Will for coming on the show. I just love the goddamn piss out of that boy. Be sure to give him a follow on Instagram. The link is in the show notes. He is a treat and a half. And while you're poking around the show notes, why not give Friendless a follow on all the big social medias? And by big social medias, I mean Instagram and TikTok. You can give it a follow at FriendlessPod. And lastly, as was announced on my social media page the other day, my first live stream collaboration with the Book Warehouse on Main is going to be going live January 21st. I believe it's at 2 p.m. Pacific time. If you are in the city, come on down, watch us record it live. If you're not, feel free to watch the live stream. It's going to be broadcast on YouTube, and then the episode itself will be available on the feed the week after. I'm so friggin' excited about this. It's just going to be such a blast. So please check it out. But that is going to do it for me this week. So let's just wrap things up here. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope to catch you back here next week. But hey, I'm not going to worry about that right now, and neither should you, because that is then, and this is now. So for now, I'll just say, try to be easy on yourself this week. And remember, I love you. Fun and safety, sweet peas.